Hi folks, this is the second session of the How I Left Bulimia Behind series, and today I'm looking at a very condensed solution focused session looking at visualizations of being without bulimia, being free from it. And I'd like you to imagine that I'm 40 years younger, oh if only. No, not really, if only. And I'm visiting a therapist. Now, I am the therapist, but I'm also the therapy. And I've recorded the therapist's questions so that I can listen to the questions and then go over them. However, it is very, very condensed, this. So it's not, it's just a taster, really, of the kind of thing that you might do if you wanted to imagine a life without bulimia. Right, let's start off with the first question. And, you know, I've got severe bulimia. I'm vomiting several times every day. I feel my self-confidence is at zero. I'm feeling totally down and depressed and just drained, absolutely awful. Okay, so the first question is,
what are your best hopes for talking with me today?
well, I suppose to be rid of the bulimia. I mean, you know, I don't know if you can, but I feel, I mean, I'm just so tired. I'm so tired of it. And I feel, you know, I feel like I'm useless because I can't control it. I just feel like nothing, really. So yeah, I'd like to be rid of it, definitely.
So what would you notice if you didn't have these episodes of bulimia?
Oh, well, I'd be healthier, I'd be less tired, less strained. I wouldn't be obsessed about food all the time. You know, I'd be more confident, I suppose. Yeah, more confident.
Less anxious about food?
Yeah, less obsessed about food, definitely. Because at the moment, you know, it's like it's the only thing I think about a lot of the time. And it's like either, well, it's good food, you know, it's a salad with no dressing, or else it's bad food and then I just eat lots of it because I've let myself down, you know. So yeah, I would like to be less anxious about food, definitely.
And what difference would it make to feel less tired and healthier?
Well, I'd be happier, I suppose. I'd be able to do more things. I'd be kind of more confident. And I feel like, you know, I'd be not ashamed of myself, really. Yeah, I'd be happier. Yeah.
So can you imagine you leave here today and you go home and in the evening you go to bed and in the night while you're fast asleep a miracle happens. You no longer feel the need to obsess about food. You feel happy and healthy. When you wake up, what's the first thing that you would notice?
Well, I guess, you know, I'd want to get up. I'd want to get on with the day because I'd be looking forward to it instead of dreading it. Yeah, so I'd be looking forward to it. Now, at this point, the session would go into a long visualization of a day without bulimia, and it would look at things like relationships with people around you. Maybe at the time I was sharing a house with people, and would they notice anything different about me? Yes, I'd be more chatty, happier? Would that make any difference to them? Yes, I think they would be more chatty with me and friendly with me. About things like food, what would I be having for my meals, and what difference would it make to be eating food and feeling happier and more confident and less obsessed? And maybe I'll say, well, I enjoyed the food more and I felt more relaxed because I knew I wasn't going to go and vomit. And maybe I'd say that I would choose food according to what I wanted, rather than either going for the really good food like the salad or the really bad food like the kind of caramel donuts or whatever, but just choosing what I fancied on that day. And I would talk about the effect that would have on whatever I was doing, whether I was working or a student, that I would feel stronger and healthier, so I would concentrate better on my work. I might well go out with someone for lunch and I would just pick what I wanted. Then that person would notice that I was more friendly, more chatty. And we go through the day like that. And that can take about 40 minutes, but I'm not going to inflict that on you. The idea is that you think about a life as you want it, and in this case, when you have left bulimia behind, what it would do for you, how great it would be, and then so we get through that, and then I'm going to come on to the next question. Bear in mind there will have been about 40 questions in between.
On a scale of from 0 to 10, where 10 represents your best hopes and 0 is the furthest away from them, where would you be right now?
About a 3. About a 3, because I'm in the middle of this, and it just feels kind of, sometimes it just feels as if I can't get over it. Now, at this point, the therapist would go into more detail about the scaling and would probably say, well, how come you're a 3 and not a 0? And you might say, well, yesterday I had a day where I actually wasn't sick, because I was so busy finishing an essay, and so I drank lots of coffee, and I just ate without thinking about it. And then it was time, I'd finished the essay, I had a couple of glasses of wine with my flatmate, and that was it. And so the therapist would then say, so what do you think meant on that day that you didn't have an episode of bulimia? Because the idea is that you're looking at the things that do work, the times that things do work. And I think I said on the first session that often for me, when there are big life events happening, you don't obsess about food, and in that sense, it can be quite a relief. I do remember my mother's father dying, and she was very, very low, and for a month or so I was kind of looking after her. I was an adult and I didn't have any problems because I was focused on her. And the whole point of this kind of therapy is to find out what kind of focuses you might have, which might help in terms of leaving the bulimia behind. And then the very last question would be, and would you like to speak with me again? And I think that I probably would have said yes, because the thing about this kind of approach is that you're in control, and nobody's going to say to you, right, you can have 6 sessions and then that's it. And equally, you know, nobody's going to kind of say, if you decide after one session that that's good enough for you and you don't want any more, nobody's going to kind of pressure you. It's all in your control. And I think that with eating disorders, my feeling from my own point of view is the more you feel in control, the more likely you are to realise your best hopes of leaving bulimia behind. So that's the end of this session for today. I wish you all the best and see you soon. Bye bye for now.